Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, and welcome to session number 3. I think it's number 3, depending on what order you've watched it in. Anyway, this is the third video that I've kind of made in succession. This is probably the third time I've tried to film it as well. We've had people come to the centre, I've had friends and family come to the centre, it then started raining. It's just been an absolute nightmare. So we're going to try again and just try and make this the toys category that you guys know. So today it's 10 past 3. I tried recording this at 12 and then one again at 1. So we've had lunch and we've sorted. So today what we're going to be talking about is dog toys. The reason why I think it's important that these dog toys are got right is because there can be a lot of confusion in the home. How we use dog toys, where we buy it from and all the rest of it, we're going to try and cover today. Try and not name any names, but equally just try and make sure that we're using the right toy at the right place. What I'd hate for you to be creating is Jekyll and Hyde. I'd hate for you to be doing that without even realising it. So why do we buy dog toys? I think it goes back to parents not really sure what to do with their dogs, and therefore kind of, I suppose, making it very similar to children. So why do we buy toys for dogs? Well, the reasons we should be buying them for: education, so to learn something new or to exaggerate a new behaviour. We should also be buying toys to promote kind of teething and keeping that kind of nice and calm, nice and relaxed, especially with puppies with new teeth coming through. It can be quite a sore time, so stuff kind of ice and cooler toys. What we also kind of promote is a bit of confidence and a bit of understanding, I suppose, from us as well. Dog toys are one of these things that are so frequently bought nowadays, and what we probably do is the same reasons why we buy dog toys is probably the same reason why we buy our children. And it's a very close comparison nowadays, because parents normally own a dog and parents most of the time have children, hence why they're parents, but it's just a case of now trying to find the differences between dogs and especially children. So imagine a spotty 15, 16 year old that's just left school. They've gone into one of the big retail stores that you can buy dog toys from. Imagine that person then stood in the middle of the corridor trying to educate owners as to why they're buying a dog toy, or even questioning why they're buying a dog toy. I think that person would probably be earning his wage and more most days. And the reason for this is because we as dog owners, I think there's a lot of people out there that still believe that they're doing it for the right reasons and blah blah blah, but they don't really have any rhyme or reason as to why they buy toys. I ask people, or I ask families most days why they buy their dogs toys, and a lot of some of the same reasons are, and they're very similar to why they buy their children it. You know, keep them distracted, keep them happy, keep them have something to do, maybe a little bit of latent learning, but ideally just to keep them quiet, which kind of shouldn't really be the reason. So to that end, what I've done is I've kind of broken the toy world down into two types, really. I've broken them down into the movable toy and the stationary toy. Now, the movable toy consists of stuff like tennis ball, football, rugby ball, frisbee. The stationary toy would probably consider of Kong, rope, pillow, slippers, bra, anything they're not supposed to have, that they can sit and chew and just kind of make the most of it. Now, the reason why I wanted to break these two down is because they're probably meant for two very different things, but they're so easily confused on an average day. So instantly we're now starting to create the two different types of toy, which now harness and bring up different parts of the dog's brain. So for a movable toy, if we were going to relate this to humans, because we've been doing it for most of this session already, then a movable toy might consist of, for me especially, I swim, I go for runs, I play football or soccer, depending on wherever you're watching this from. Gym, very rarely. I don't know. What else to do? Walk with the dog, go on bike rides and stuff. With a stationary toy, we watch movies, we read books, you know, read comics, and I play guitar quite often. So think of this scenario: me taking my guitar into a swimming pool. Probably wouldn't work, and it'd look weird. So why do we then throw tennis balls in the house? Or why do we let a dog sit and chew a tennis ball? The reasons being that we kind of let these things happen is because we probably don't know any better. If we did know any better, we'd probably then try and correct it. So with these two types of toy, we can relate that in a human world, we learn both theory and practical. So what's the difference with our dogs then? If we can honestly say that they are learning both with both types, or with both types of toy, then that should be fine, right? So the dog will be getting a good runabout when they go down the park, but at the same time when they come home, they've got something to satisfy their needs. I've known people that have a very introvert job, such as a coder, that sits in a very dark room in the back of a store somewhere writing code for a business, and then when they go home, that's all they do in the evening. Over time, if they're not getting out and they're not getting exercise, then that's probably a lead or a downfall to their personality, and then that's why they detach themselves away from people. I think when it comes to the dog stuff, you'll find behaviours get a little bit more exaggerated. So for example, if your dog enjoys a good chew bone, if the dog hasn't had a good run out and hasn't got that type of chew bone at home, then there's going to lead to some very destructive behaviours. My worry is that the dog is taking it out on your furniture or your sofa or whatever, when all you could have done was just walk them a little bit extra, played with them a little bit extra, and just give them that satisfying feeling. I think when it comes to the Jekyll and Hyde in dogs, Dr. Jekyll was a madman, and then kind of changed when it comes to Hyde. This is exactly the same what you can have with your dog. You can have a madman running around your pants on your head, enjoying, loving life and seeing all the world outside, and then as soon as he comes home, he wants to kind of learn and play and potentially and probably mostly sleep. A balanced dog has got a balanced set of toys. Now, I go to so many households that have been throwing a tennis ball down the corridor for so long, and all they've done is just stop throwing that tennis ball, and the dog then sits and chills. The dog then goes to sleep. The dog then leaves them alone and stop pestering them, because essentially all you're doing is promoting crazy at home. Now, personally, I enjoy football or soccer. I'm a big fan of that. So I know if, for example, one of my teams are playing, or England, the National League, I go to take the dog out for a long walk before, and then when I get in, I give her something to chew on, like a carrot or something, and then she sits and chills. I'm able to do my thing, she's able to do her thing. We've got a happy household. One final thing about dog toys. If I haven't made it clear enough, obviously the movable toys for outside, the stationary toys for indoors. How you regime that or how you split that up is entirely up to you. There are things there that are going to contradict themselves. For example, the average stick, the ones that come off the tree, where does that sit? Is that movable or stationary? But this is entirely up to you. As a dog professional, I'll be telling you not to throw sticks. It just causes more problems than chaos, and this is probably why other things were invented, so you didn't have to throw sticks anymore. The last thing I wanted to go through is just the working dog uses. Now, the reason why I wanted to go through this is because I've worked dogs, I've been around dogs that are working, and I've seen plenty of kind of uses for toys in the past. Just the three off the top of my head, we've got agility, search dogs, and gun dogs. This isn't the only three styles of working dog, this is just the three that have come off the top of my head. So agility, use some sort of tug toy or Kong. Search, use Kong, tennis ball. Gun dogs use normally some sort of kind of baton with a little bit of string on the end, and it just represents bringing back the bird. Now, just those three, just off the top of my head, with the working dog uses there, you can see where the toys are now starting to bring in, and they have something to work for. So with the search dog, you imprint a scent by pairing something to its toy, and therefore then the dog thinks he's then searching for the toy. Very, very simple imprinting, kind of breakdown, and that's the simplicity of it. But all you're doing then is then rewarding the dog for finding his toy. So the dog, it's quite clever, but quite simple. I think as far as toys goes, it's not a big category, and it's probably not worth 15 minutes worth of chat. But as long as you break those two down, I'm fairly sure you'll probably see the benefits from it. If this has helped, then brilliant. Please get in touch, and please leave your kind of comments and feedback from it. I'm all up for all ears, and how to change things or how to do things better. I'm up for constructive criticism. Thank you very much for listening. My name's Ryan. I'm part of Rise, as you can see on the t-shirt. And you've probably watched my introduction, so you know more about me than me. So thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you very much.